Come on in. Come on in. It's Saturday. Come on in. Grab your tea. It's Saturday. Yeah. Happy Saturday, guys. Come on and grab your drink, your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever you are sipping on, and let's talk. It's Saturday, your and my day, our day to get in the Word, to find out what's on the heart of God concerning you and concerning, I was going to say but me, concerning us. We getting in His Word to find out His heart and mind concerning us. And I am just so grateful, even as we are in a season of thankfulness and gratefulness, Thanksgiving season. I am grateful that we have a God who left us a word, a Bible, instructions to keep us going each and every day. You know, you have that job that you get hired on, and then they give you some information, and then somewhere months down the line, they start asking you to do something else, and you find yourself frustrated because you did not give me the tools to manage this assignment. You did not give me the instructions, the how-to, in order for me to complete the task that you have put before me. So now I'm frustrated. Now I'm irritated because you're just expecting me to do something without giving me the tools to be able to work it out. But that is so not God. He left us instructions for us to live our lives daily according to His standards, according to His principles, according to His precepts, according to His order, according to His structure. So we use His word, or we should be using His word, as the foundation upon which we stand and then build. We cannot build outside of His word. We cannot build outside of the foundation, which is the Bible and the instructions that He left us. So make sure you're getting in your word. Be thankful and grateful, yes, for everything else. But Lord, I thank you that you've given me and left me a roadmap. Thank you that you left me a GPS where I don't have to get in this spiritual vehicle and just kind of figure out, do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go straight? Do I turn back and make a U-turn? What do I do? Get in the word to find out. Amen. So we're going to get right into today's Saturday, because I got a little bit of reading that I'm going to do. Why are you not seeing what God said? Okay, now I'm going to include myself, because there's still some things that the Lord has said and spoke over me that I have not seen as of yet. And some things is just not the timing of God, but some things, if I be honest, I haven't done what I'm supposed to do. Why are we not seeing what God said? One thing about God, if He spoke it, that means it's settled. If He spoke it, it's guaranteed. If He spoke it, we can take that check to the bank, as they say. We can cash that, because that check is not going to bounce. However, and as my pastor would say, there is a responsibility that we have according to what the Lord has promised us. You know, it's just like us with our children. Remember, He is our Father. But just like with our children, we say, if you do this, we'll give you this. But guess what? If you don't do your schoolwork, if you don't do your chores, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then that thing that I told you that you can have, or even the thing that you told me that you want, is more than likely not going to happen. Why? Because you haven't taken care of your priorities. You haven't taken care of your responsibilities. You haven't been diligent and consistent on your end. I'm working a job. I know I got the car. I can get to the mall, get to the store to get you them sneakers, get you that game, get you that outfit. But now you haven't done what you're supposed to do. So I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my gas. And more importantly, I'm not going to teach you wrong, that you're still going to be able to flourish and have goodness, the goodness of my bank account and my pocket and my hard-earned money, when you're not doing what you are responsible for doing. Now, it may not necessarily be in those same words with God, but in the same way, He has promised us, He's made us some promises, but with those promises comes responsibility. With those promises comes accountability. With those promises comes action that we have to take. And as we are about to enter into 2022, we all know about the New Year's resolution. Let me take a sip of coffee. You know, the New Year's resolution that you're still writing after 10 years, and yet none of what you wrote down, you're writing the same thing, but none of it is coming to pass. You're not seeing progress in it. You're not seeing the manifestation of it, right? The Lord promised it to you. He said he will give you the desires of your heart. You wrote it down like Habakkuk tells us to. You made it plain. But the Bible always also talks about faith. And he says, without faith, it is impossible to please him. So could your situation, could your problem be, everybody's problem and situation is different. And we'll talk about a few of those, maybe 4 of those, right? But could your problem be that you wrote it down, you were diligent, obedient, committed to write it down? But the faith that is required to lift those words off of paper and get them set in motion, where's your faith? Where is your faith? What have you done? What are you doing? What are you exercising according to what you wrote down? Because writing it down is just one part of it. Okay? That's just, let's say, the seed. But every seed that goes in the ground, as we write it on paper, that is the seed going from the pen to the paper in the ground, if you will. It still requires sunlight. It still requires nutrients. It still requires water. Where is your faith that is watering, that is giving sunlight, that is bringing forth nutrients to the seed that you wrote down? Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So could you have a great idea? Could you have a great goal, but you have done nothing to exercise it, nothing to lift it off the paper, nothing by faith to show God that I wrote it down, but now I believe that you can do what you put in my heart and in my mind to put on paper that I'm wishing and hoping and desiring to do. Maybe you and I are like the children of Israel. And we're going to read about them. Given a promise by God. We've all been given a promise. I know you may say, well, I never had no prophetic word, or I can't remember. God still made you a promise. What is your promise? Your promise is your destiny. Your promise is your purpose. What has he put on the inside of you to walk out, to carry out? Remember, we are vessels, and a vessel is designed to carry something from one place to the next. And then when it gets to that place, it releases what is on the inside of it. Are you getting discouraged because you've been carrying something around and yet you have not been placed or put at a position or place where the Lord is saying, now it's time to release? Are you waiting for the big release and not taking advantage of small opportunities that the Lord is putting in your way to release? And as you release, he's saying, stay before me so you can be filled. And so there's that constant, I'm giving out of what the Lord has put inside of me, but I'm making room when I pour out for him to pour back in. But that means I have to stay before him. That means I have to be positioned at his feet in order to be filled. Because we can be filled, but are we being filled with the right thing to carry out the will of the Father, to be effective? One thing about Jesus, he was effective. His mission, his purpose, his destiny, he carried it out to its completion, but he was effective. He was effective. Many of us are busy doing a lot of things, but we are not effective. I don't know about you, but I want to be effective. And I don't want to wait to January of 2022 to sit down and start preparing. I don't want to wait to 2022 to sit down and start thinking, okay, Lord, what's next? What do I need to be doing? Because what you need to be doing, what I need to be doing, we need to be doing now. That does not necessarily mean walking in the thing to its completion or its fullness. But there is a part that we play daily, even if it's keeping that thing before the Lord in prayer, saturating that thing, watering that thing, covering that gift, covering that idea, covering that dream, covering that vision with prayer. So that it's so oily that when the enemy tries to put his hands on it, it just slips. When the imps that the enemy send that tries to attach themselves to you to take advantage of your gift or to snuff the life out of you with the vision and goal that you opened your big mouth up with to share with them when you shouldn't have, they come to snuff that. They come to silence you. They come to kill, steal, and destroy, because they're working for the enemy, and that is his job. That is his mission. So everybody that he sends out, the underlying mission for anything that they will come against you with is to kill, steal, and destroy. But I believe that you are going to walk out and in your promise. I believe that you're going to walk out and into the thing that the Lord has spoke over your life. And we're not going to wait till 2022. We're going to start now, writing it, praying over it, seeing it. Lord, show me what I've been missing. Show me what I put out of the side of my mind, thinking was no longer for me, no longer for my now, no longer for my future, because it didn't work in my past. And so I shelved it or buried it. And the Lord is saying, no, I showed it to you back then, but it wasn't for back then. It was to show you and prepare you for where you're going. So now we need to ask the Lord, help us to see. Help us to become aware of everything that we shelved and buried and sentenced to death. That you're saying there's still life in that thing. I haven't even used you in that way as of yet. I need you to dust it off. I need you to speak life back into it. Why? Because the life and death is in the power of your tongue. Life and death is in the power of my tongue. I need you to dust it off. Pull it off the shelf. Dig it up out the grave. Dust it off. And begin to pray over it. Begin to speak life. Begin to speak, Lord, that it would be effective. To begin to speak, Lord, show me, give me wisdom on what to do, on how to do. I pray that who I come in contact with and who this is designed for, that it would reach them. Yes, Lord, as I walk in it, that it would reach them and that they would receive all of what they're supposed to receive when I am obedient to do what it is and to carry out what you have put on the inside of me. So we're going to read Deuteronomy, right? Because one of the things, or four things I would say, that the children of Israel that kept them from the promise. The first one, disobedience. Number two, fear. 3, lack of faith. And 4, disbelief. Do you fall in one of those 4? Are you being disobedient? Are you fearing the thing the Lord told you to be encouraged? He said, I have not given you the spirit of fear. Do you find yourself fearing the thing that the Lord has put before you? Fearing the thing that the Lord put inside of you that you can sense, that makes you feel like you're coming to life. But every time you try to come to life and think about it, you see more the problem. You see more the giant. You see more the issues. You see more what may happen. And that becomes more magnified than what the Lord has said. Do you find yourself lacking faith? Once again, I said earlier, without faith, it is impossible to please God. Talking in tongues, serving in church, going to church, paying or giving your tithe, and yet you do not operate and function in faith, you cannot please God. Let's make sure we're not going through the actions and have mastered the art of worship and the art of this Christian walk that we know everything to do on the public end, but on the private end, the Lord is like, who are you? And what are you doing? Because I'm not pleased with what I see. You putting on a show for the people that you go to church with, and they see you and think because you can talk in tongues and because you could pray the house down and because you could lead worship, because you could preach it, because you could prophesy. They're looking at you and they're, oh, God's hand. But I'm looking at you and what I see and what I think and how I feel about you is what really matters. Or 4, do you find yourself disbelieving? I'm in disbelief. So we're going to go to Deuteronomy 1 and we're going to read a little bit. So stay with me. Deuteronomy 1, 19 through 26. And this is what it reads. We then set out from Horeb and went across all the great and terrible wilderness you saw on the way to the hill country of the Amorites. Just as the Lord our God has commanded us, when we reached Kadesh Barnea, I said to you, this is Moses talking to the children of Israel, you have reached the hill country of the Amorites, which the Lord our God is giving us. You've reached this country where the enemy is bigger, but on the other end, the Lord, he's given us this land. Verse 21. See, the Lord your God has set the land before you. Go up and take possession of it as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has told you. Do not be afraid or discouraged. He's talking to you. Do not be afraid or discouraged. What have I said? What have I promised you? I know you see the giants. I know you see the opposition. I know you see the haters. I know you see the ones who tried it and it didn't happen for them. It did not work for them. I know you see the ones that are against you. I know you see the ones that are not on your side. But what did I say? Be encouraged. Don't be discouraged. I've given you this land. I've given you the promise. I've given you the dream. Verse 22, then all of you approached me and said, let's send men up ahead of us so that they may explore the land for us and bring us back a report about the route we should go up and cities we will come to. The plan seemed good to me. This is Moses saying. So I selected 12 men from among you, 1 man for each tribe. They left and went up into the hill country and came to the valley of Eshcol, scouting the land. They took some of the fruit from the land in their hands, carried it down to us, and brought us back a report. The report was, the land the Lord our God is giving us is good. The promise is good. What it's connected to is good. The manifestation is good. Everything about it is good. Yes, you and I know that, right? What he said, it has to be good because there's nothing bad about him. There's nothing off about him. There's nothing disjointed about him. So if he spoke it, that means it's good. It's better than good. It's great. Right? But the next part, verse 26. But you were not willing to go up. You rebelled against the command of the Lord your God. You grumbled in your tents and said, the Lord brought us out of the land of Egypt to hand us over to the Amorites in order to destroy us because he hates us. And maybe you feel like that. Maybe you feel I've been doing everything the Lord has asked me to do. I've been doing everything that I committed to do. I've been doing everything that I know is right to do. And yet I still keep hitting and bumping my head against this wall. I still can't seem to get ahead. Every time I start, it seems like something happens. I'm trying to work and praying over my finances. And every time I get one bill paid off, something else happens where now I have to take a loan or I have to borrow. God, you hate me. The Lord does not hate you. Hate is not even in his vocabulary other than what he does hate. He hates divorce. Other than what he does hate, the Lord does not hate you. Be reminded of that today, no matter where you're going, what you're going through, or where you are mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. The Lord does not hate you. He said in his word, he will never leave you nor forsake you. So whatever it is that you're standing in need of, he's there. He is there even if it doesn't feel like he's there. He's there. Dig deeper. Pray harder. Praise more. Yeah, let your worship be louder. Because what happens is you're silencing the voice of the enemy. When we become silent when we're going through, what happens is it gives room for the enemy to start putting thoughts in our minds. He starts showing us pictures. If I'm sick, he starts showing you pictures of death. If you're going through a financial situation or challenge, he starts showing you getting put out of your home, or you living in your car, you living in a homeless shelter, you living outside. And before you know it, those tricks he's playing will begin to take root in your mind. And once it takes root in your mind, you begin to see it, even if it's not there. You begin to hear it when people are talking to you. You begin to receive it, and you'll begin to walk and act that thing out. The Lord does not hate you. He loves you with an unconditional love. He loves you so much. He paid the price before you were even a thing, before you were even a thought. Let's continue to read. 28. Where can we go? Our brothers have made us lose heart, saying the people are larger and taller than we are. The cities are large, fortified to the heavens. We also saw the descendants of Anakim there. Now, once again, they came back with the report. The land is good, but the enemy is greater. The land is good. The enemy is greater. That's what they observed when they went. But what did the Lord say? Why are you not seeing what the Lord has spoke over you? Why are you not seeing what the Lord has said? Why are you not seeing what the Lord has promised you? Could it be because you know that the promise is good, but you're more focused on what seems bigger? You're more focused on what is bigger. It's bigger than you, but it ain't bigger than your God. And remember, everything that we do, we don't go alone. We don't go in and of our own selves. We are ambassadors. We are disciples. We are being sent. We are the called ones, the sent ones. And who's backing us? He said, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So when I go, that means he comes with me. He doesn't follow me. I follow him where he calls me. He doesn't follow me. I follow him where he leads me. He does not follow me. I follow him where he sends me. But he's with me. And not only is he with me, he's with you. We're going to go down to verse 26 to 28. Actually, we've been reading that already. Okay. So I said to you, do not be terrified or afraid of them. The Lord said, you said the land is good. Now the enemy is greater. But I've told you, do not be terrified or afraid of them. The Lord your God who goes before you will fight for you. The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. That's what he said. Just as you saw him do for you in Egypt. What have you seen the Lord do for you in the past? What has he done before? Do you know that he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore? So he does not change. He only gets better with time. He's constant. He's good. He's great. He's faithful. He's committed. He's constant. He's consistent. It is that across the board. There is no fluctuating. He does not go. He's not up one day. He's not down one day. He's not like you and I. He's constant, consistent. What he did before should only be a part of what you have written down to say, yep, he did this and that seemed impossible. Yep, he did that and the doctor said it wasn't going to happen. It couldn't happen. Yep, he did that and I don't even know how. Where that miracle, how did it happen? Where it came from? I can't even tell you, but I do know Jesus did it. What has he done for you before that you are forgetting? 31. And you saw the wilderness, how the Lord your God carried you as a man carries the sun all along the way you traveled until you reached this place. But in spite of this, you did not trust the Lord your God. Why are you not seeing what the Lord said? Why won't you see in 2022 even what you'll write down? Because you don't trust what the Lord has said. You don't trust his timing. You don't trust his plan. You don't trust the process that he puts you through. May not look like what you want it to. It may not feel good. It may not look like what they had to go through. They may have had it easy. But God knows just what to do to you. God knows just what to do to me to get us to where he said in the timing. To make us or to get the most out of us that we are effective. See, I may be able to go through your process, but I may come out not getting what I need, right? Because I'm wired different. You're wired different than me. So the Lord knows what's going to push you, what's going to crush you, what's going to press you. He knows the same for me. So that means I may have to do it a little bit different, just like with our children. I have a son. I have a daughter. How I discipline my son is different than how I discipline my daughter. How I encourage them is totally different because they are wired different in my words and my approach. Thank you, Holy Spirit. My approach has to be different or is different for both of them because they receive differently. In the same way, our Father knows us, his children, how we are wired. Why? Because he wired us. Our children, we're still just trying to figure out, right? Because it's like, I don't know who you is. You don't act like me. You must be your daddy. And the Father's saying that you act just like your mother, right? Because we all like, that's not me. When I see you, that don't look like me. But when the Lord sees us, he knows how we're supposed to be because he created us. So we're wired according to the way that he designed us. Now, some of us are twisted wires or we have become unwired because we've gotten off the course that the Lord has put us on. We've gotten out of the will and the plan of the Lord, doing our own thing. And so we've come and become tangled and webbed. But he knows how he wired us in completion from head to toe. Let's continue to read. We're going to go down to verse, let's do 34 through 36 real quick. When the Lord heard your words, he grew angry and swore an oath. None of these men in the evil generation will see the good land I swore to give your fathers, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. He will see it, and I will give him and his descendants the land on which he has set foot. Because, and here's the important part. We're going to finish reading with this. Because he remained loyal to the Lord. Why are we not seeing what the Lord said? Why won't we see what the Lord has said? Because we are not loyal to God. We are loyal to man. We are loyal to leaders. We are loyal to pastors. We are loyal to names. We are loyal to church buildings. You know, some people are still in a church building because they have become loyal to the building, not loyal to God, because if God is no longer in the building, then you've become loyal and stuck, loyal and stagnant, loyal and stiff, loyal, and some of us will become loyal unto death because the Lord said, I have moved my hand. I have shifted. I'm calling you out, but you still choose to remain. But I'm not there. You're praying, but you're saying you can't hear me because your mind is clouded. Your ears are cluttered. Why? Because what they're teaching, what they're preaching is no longer for how you have been wired. I know what you need. You needed that for a season and for a reason. Now it's time to move. Now it's time to shift. Now it's time to come out, to go in. Some of us are so afraid to come out because what does coming out look like? I have to detach. I have to become unglued. I have to separate myself from the people that I've become in love with, the people that I've become loyal with, the people that have made me who I am, the people who have given me a name, the people that have manipulated me. And I know it. But I'm fearful. So because I'm fearful, going back to the 4, because I'm fearful, which was number 2, the Lord is telling me to shift, but I'm disobedient. The Lord is telling me to move and to start this business or to start this ministry or to shift jobs or to move or to get out of this relationship. But I'm afraid, so I'm disobedient. Why are we not seeing what the Lord? Because my lack of faith. Gosh, I'm fearful. And so because I'm fearful, how can I have faith for something I'm afraid of? They don't mix. It's like oil and water. Fear is the opposite of faith. So I can't be fearful and have faith at the same time. I know they say do it afraid, but I'm a firm believer. How can you do it in something that the Lord has not given you? If he has not given us the spirit of fear, how am I going to do this in fear? But he hasn't given me the spirit of fear. So if you do it by fear, do it confidently. Do it believing. But let's not use the word fear because he hasn't given it to us. Just the fear of the Lord is what we're supposed to have, which is respect, which is honor, which is reverence, but not fear to where I'm scared, I'm afraid. Because he said, be encouraged. Be encouraged. So now I'm fearful, which is causing me to be disobedient. I'm fearful, which is causing me to not have faith. And I'm fearful, so it's causing me not to believe like I should. And so I feel it, and I know it, but I just can't get to do it. And I've been there. And if I could be honest, there are 1 or 2 places where I still am there. Not walking in the fullness of who I am. Not walking in the fullness of what God has spoken over me. Not walking in the fullness of what he promised me because I feel it and I know it and I sense it and I'm excited about it. But somehow, some way, I'm still glued and stuck to the seat that I'm sitting in where I have not got up and taken a step by faith to show God, I believe you. To show God, I have faith. To show God, I'm being obedient. And guess what? As much as I'm encouraging you with this word, this also applies to me. Remember, it's our day to find out what's on his heart concerning us. And what the Lord is saying is we will not see what he has said if we don't do what he said to do and be obedient, if we don't be encouraged and we walk in fear, if we don't step out on faith and we allow fear to trump faith, because he said, you can't please me without it. And if we don't believe, he said, all things are possible to him who believes. I want to challenge you as I'm challenging myself and have been in a challenging season where I'm challenging myself. I don't need the preacher to tell me. I mean, there's some things I do need the preacher to tell. But there comes a time of maturity where you just have to sit your own self down and say, what is going on? What are you doing? What are you afraid of? Why are you scared? Has he not done it before? Have you not seen him come through? Do you not know that you are called? Do you not know that you are anointed? Do you not know that you are favored? Do you not know you are chosen? Do you not know that he is with you? Do you not know that his hand is on you? Do you not know that he has spoken? Do you not know that he leads you? Do you not know that he orders your steps? This is me talking to myself. What are you doing, Tisha? You need to take yourself more serious. Because, yeah, you doing stuff, but it's all right. It's just all right. Because there's so much more. There's so much more. It's beyond potential. You know, many of us sit in a place of potential because we just don't know, you know, it's beyond potential. You already know. You already know. I'm talking to myself once again. Tisha, you already know what you have. You already know what you carry. And that's not from a cocky place. That's not from a prideful place. That's just from knowing who I am. But being complacent and comfortable with not ruffling no feathers. Being complacent and comfortable with just living a mediocre life. Time out. Time out. Time out. It's time for everything that we have written on paper to lift off of paper and to manifest. And the only way that that is going to happen, the only way that you and I are going to see what the Lord has said, what he has spoken over us, is if we are obedient, if we walk by faith, if we kill fear, if we destroy fear, if we denounce fear and the father of fear, which is the enemy, and if we believe once again. I pray that this encourages you. Don't wait till 2022. Don't wait till January. Don't even wait till December. Take an hour out of every day. Begin to plan. Begin to see. Begin to write out. Begin to pray according to the will of the Father. Because guess what? Even though we set things up by year, there is the time. Time is in God's hands. He's not limited by a new year, a new decade, a new season. My new season starts, guess what? When I get serious. Your new season starts when you get serious. Serious about what? What he spoke over you, what he said, the instructions that he gave you, the promise that he made you. If not, we'll be sitting down, sipping our coffee, our tea, watching everybody else pass us by and congratulating them. But at some point, that bitterness is going to set in. At some point, that feeling of jealousy is going to set in. It's going to set in. Why? Because you're going to get tired of waving everybody else, seeing them. Oh my God. Scrolling. Oh my goodness. This is so awesome. Look what God, how did that happen for them? But look what God did. And you're so afraid of just that. How did it happen for them? You're thinking about what is not your responsibility. You're thinking about what should not be on your mind. How it's going to happen shouldn't be on our mind. Obedience should be on our mind. Faith should be on our mind. Why? Because we've seen God come through. Time and time ago, again, when we didn't have it, when we didn't know how we was going to make it, he just, whoop, oh, it's paid for? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean this bill? What? I owe $10,000. What do you mean that I just called because I wanted to make a payment. I finally got my mind ready to start, putting aside some money to put towards this bill. And what do you, okay, are you sure you have the right name? Yeah, it's Letitia Davis, Social Security 00. You thought I was going to say my Social Security? Crazy. Phone number, yes, my address. Really? A zero balance? Can you tell me when it's been paid? And so the Lord is able. The Lord is, that didn't really happen for me. It can, it will. The Lord has come through crazy ways. Crazy ways, I can tell you, but I won't because we already overtime, if you will. Closing this message down. Stand to your feet. Come on and play a little bit so I could shut up. But yeah, I pray this encourages you to move, to activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Holy, they got that TikTok out now. It's amazing how all of these different social media and apps and all of that can make fun or light of what is serious to us. Yeah, Holy Spirit, activate. But guess what? The Holy Spirit only activates when you activate him. He's inside of us. Now what? What you gonna do? All right, I'm going to stop because I'm over time. I love you. I pray this bless you. If you feel led to, please feel free to share it, to be a blessing to someone else. Until next Saturday, keep living, keep loving, keep laughing. Take a breath in, keep breathing, keep trusting, keep walking by faith, keep being obedient, and keep believing. Jesus loves you, and I do too.